Hey everyone, I want to talk to you about the stimulus payments, these new ones at least, the most recent ones that are about to be being sent out under the American Rescue Plan, which was signed into law yesterday by President Joe Biden. They include $1,400 direct payments, somewhat similar to the previous stimulus checks, but there are some important differences, and so I want to clarify. Number one, these are $1,400 direct payments to you, and if you have a spouse, your spouse as well, and if you have any dependents whatsoever. Now, I say that, and that is actually different than the previous year because the prior year, adult dependents did not qualify to receive a stimulus payment. You didn't receive one on their behalf, and they didn't want to receive one on their own, much to the chagrin of many college students who are being claimed by their parents and that kind of thing. And so this stimulus actually is different in that regard. So it's $1,400 direct payments to you, your spouse, and any of your dependents on your tax return. Now, that means if you have adult children who are your dependents, you will receive $1,400 stimulus payments for them. And I know they're going to ask you for that stimulus money, and do what you will with that. That's an independent decision. But you are going to receive it on their behalf if you claim them on the tax return. Now, in regards to receiving the stimulus money, there are some numbers that are actually a little different from the previous stimulus rounds as well. The prior stimulus rounds had an adjusted gross income phase-out range. And what I mean by that is at certain income levels, you did not qualify to receive a stimulus payment. Essentially, that income level was $198,000 for married filing joint filers. If you made over $198,000, you did not receive the stimulus payment at all. If you received less than $150,000 of adjusted gross income, then you received all of what you qualified for. And there were some people who were in the in-between who received a ratable portion of, or we could call a prorated portion of the stimulus payment. So some people received some kind of strange amounts. But it was all done based on the mathematical calculations from your most recent tax filing. Now, this one, the numbers are different. It's not 198 and 150 for married filing joint filers. It is $160,000 at the top end, so that it came down by about $38,000 on the top end. The floor, if you will, is still the same at $150,000. It means there's only a small $10,000 gap between when you qualify and receive all of it versus receiving none of it. And the income between 150 and 160 is at a ratable portion. Now, I'm speaking specifically in regards to the numbers for married filing joint filers. For single filers, it's $75,000 to $80,000, essentially half. And so that should give you an idea of whether or not you're going to qualify for the stimulus payment, whether or not you should file a tax return right now because your income may be higher or lower than your 2019 filings. That can be a complicated determination. So if you have questions about that, you should seek a competent tax advisor, and we have many of those here at Mullen Associates. Give us a call and we can help you with that one. Now, the other piece to that is if you file now and your income is too high to qualify for the stimulus, so you don't get it, then you just won't receive it, and it is what it is. But if you wait to file now, knowing that once you file, you won't qualify, but you want to hold off so that you can make sure and get that stimulus money, you need to beware because in the bill, it says specifically that they're going to reconcile, meaning they're going to determine what your actual qualifications are for receiving the stimulus on the next year's tax return, the 2021 tax filing. And so now, this is where it gets a little more complicated because nothing in taxes is ever simple, it seems. The initial stimulus bill from April of 2020 did say that it was going to reconcile on the 2020 filing. However, that was walked back and they did not reconcile. And so that means if your income went up during 2020, you didn't end up having to pay back any of the stimulus. It's not taxable income. You're not penalized for having received it. You don't have to pay it back. Nothing. No negative ramifications for having received it. But they did indicate in the bill that there were going to possibly be negative ramifications, but that was completely eliminated. So the point here is they're telling us in this bill that it will be reconciled on the 2020 filing. And so it may be that you delay filing in order to make sure you receive the stimulus, and then you may have to pay it back to the federal government when you file your next year's tax return, the 2021 tax return that you would file in February or March of 2022. So again, that's what separates the two stimulus payments. One, we didn't have to pay back. This one, they are saying that we will have to pay it back. But they also told us that we were going to have to pay it back last time as well. So is this a boy who cried wolf situation, or is this really, are they really going to stick to their guns this time? I can't tell you without a crystal ball. I can't tell you whether or not that's going to happen. I can only tell you that's how the bill is written, and I deal with things as they are and not necessarily as I hope they might be. So take with that what you will. If you have questions about what we think that you should do, you should give us a call and let us know, and we're happy to help you. Thanks so much.